Well, hello, it's Daria and Ken. I guess I should say that we represent quite a few hockey digital sources. It's Hockey on the Beach podcast and Tampa Bay Sports Journal. We are in the second week of the 2026 Milano Cortina Olympic Games and the first one for the hockey players. The hockey tournament started February 11th and it's something special, I should say. Ken, hello, and how do you feel about all of this?
I feel good. At least I'm able to watch some hockey after that 5 day break. So I feel good about watching the guys skate on the ice. I'm not at this stage of the tournament, not looking for a lot of surprises. Everything has been pretty much the form, status quo. I mean, the United States handled Latvia in their first game, and Canada, they disposed of their two opponents with ease. We probably won't see any real competitive hockey like we saw in the Four Nations Cup till next week when the relegation round and then your semis and things get underway. But it's been good so far. Like I said, not a surprises, but just good to see the different players meshing with fellows from their own country wearing their own jerseys representing their nation. It's been pretty cool to see.
And so it's 12 nations, just one gold, and two of us. Let's
Yes.
be real and brutal.
Yes.
So let's focus on good and bad.
I think this the surprise. I'm surprised that Jordan Bennington is starting for Team Canada, and he had a really good game. His first outing, the Canadians they beat Finland. I think it was Finland 5-0. And after the game, the media is asking Cooper, "Well, you're going to ride Bennington the whole way." In a short tournament, your goaltender can really factor in to how successful you are, how far you go in the tournament. And he was really coy about that. He wasn't going to tip his hand at all. In today's game against Switzerland, Logan Thompson started. And Canada, of course, beat Switzerland 5-1. So Cooper is, he's got two guys I think he can really count on. It'll be interesting to see who he picks as his number one goalie as the team advances into the tournament and they get into the regulation and the playoff rounds.
Even if we go back to the Four Nations tournament, he
Yes,
was amazing. He
he
made
was.
it through the final, and that's one thing about Jordan Bennington.
Mm-hmm.
He might not be so stable in the NHL, but let's remember he has the Stanley Cup under his belt, and he was just amazing in the finals of the Four Nations tournament. So we know he
He
can
was.
show up.
Yes, and that's all you need. You just need a guy to play outstanding in goal for 4 or 5 games. That's it. You're not asking him to carry the season to get you from point A to point B. Hey, give me your best for 5 or 6 games, and we'll see what happens.
So Canada is good, of course. Canada
Yeah,
has the best coach ever. His name is John Cooper, and he is also our coach.
yes,
By
that's
our,
right.
I mean Tampa Bay Lightning. Let's go.
By the way, if John Cooper wins the Olympic gold medal with Team Canada, he will have won a championship at every single level of hockey. And
That's
he got
amazing.
his start way low in the minor leagues. I think up in Michigan when he was still moonlighting as a lawyer during the day and a hockey coach at night. He did started his coaching career and has progressed, through the ranks and just done a great job everywhere he's been, and that's why he'll be a Hall of Fame coach and be in the Hall of Fame someday.
Yeah, imagine doing that and people still love you.
Yes, I know, right?
And
Yeah.
it's like he just always surprises us because in the first game, I know it was probably just like for the memories, but he let Florida Panthers players play all together for one shift. I mean, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Well, he has, like I said, we talked about earlier on the other podcast. He has his pulse on what's going to work in the room, who's good at playing together. He's going to try different line combinations, and you're probably going to win the game. Why not? Why not have a little fun? Throw the boys out there and let them have some fun playing together for a few minutes. Nothing wrong with that.
That's so
And
special.
who knows?
Yeah.
And who knows too? you may get deeper into the tournament where you'll have to maybe rely on three or four of those players playing together, to get you a goal in a tough spot, or, you know, whatever challenges you might be facing on the ice. You may need that core group of players because they've played together so often and they're familiar with each other's game. They can
So
put you over.
far, yeah, so far Canadians don't really have that much pressure. I mean, it's Switzerland 5-1 and Czech Republic 5-0. So we will see. They will get there because they probably missed some competition too. What about Team USA?
Well, they've only had one game. That was against Latvia. They won
Mm-hmm.
5-1 rather handedly. A little slow start. It was 1-1 after one period. And I'm sure everybody's scratching their head thinking, oh boy, here we go again. Is this U.S. squad just going to flame out, or are they going to come back and really get after it in the second period? And credit to them, they did. And they, came away with a rather easy 5-1 win. And they probably will not be challenged the rest of the first round of the tournament. They've got Denmark tomorrow afternoon, and then they play Germany
Mm-hmm.
on Sunday. And those should be relatively easy wins. Germany might be a bit more of a challenge than what Denmark will be, but I don't see the U.S. losing any of those two games.
I expected more from Team Latvia. They were okay for the first period, but they just fell apart. And it
Yes.
still matters who is the coach. I know well Harris Vitalinch, Team Latvia coach,
Mm-hmm.
because he worked a lot in the KHL. He's a nice guy. So he might be a really good specialist, but he needs someone next to him who is in charge. So he's a great assistant coach, but he's probably too soft spoken to be such a harsh leader on the
Yeah.
bench.
Yeah. And Latvia, they're a squad that really hasn't had a lot of Olympic success in hockey. So if they can get a win in one of the remaining two or three games that they have, or maybe win a couple, that would be big for them.
Well, see, that's really interesting because if when we talk about Italy, we really should take in consideration Finland and Italy because they lost their amazing, award-winning, the best ever coach, Jukka Jalinen, who is now coaching Italy.
Mm.
And we've seen that Italy was super fast. They were pressuring, they were forechecking. It was scary to see how Swedes were lost. I mean, they have overrated players on their roster who couldn't do anything. Yes, it's very nice when you can shoot, I don't know, 100 times a game, but if you only score five and one of them is an empty net, I mean, you have a problem.
I don't know the coaching dynamics that goes on behind the scenes over there in those European countries. You're a little more in tune with that than I am, but you're exactly right. Coaching, makes a huge difference, and it can make a major difference in a big international tournament like this when you take somebody that maybe has really built that club, had control of the locker room, the players respected him, and all of a sudden he's gone, to coach somewhere else. That can have a huge effect, whether anybody will admit that or not. The results are on the ice. So,
Well, the thing is, we have at least three teams that have coaching issues. And there's also a rumor and that one of the Florida Panthers players who is on the team Finland, he's asking for the head coach of Team Finland to be fired and Paul Maurice to take his place.
um, I think culture, not the ethnicity type of culture, but the culture you bring into an organization. Is it a winning culture? Is it a losing culture? Are you a player's coach? Are you not a player's coach? I think all that plays into how the players obviously feel about the coach, and the coach is responsible for creating that culture and that dynamic that he's going to put out on the ice. And if the coach, as John Cooper does not have his pulse on the team and is able to really know at any given moment, okay, I could put these five on the ice. They're going to play really well together. I can't put these two, or or these three, then you're not going to be successful. You just can't throw people out there on the ice in this type of tournament and expect to have some success. There is a little bit of chemistry that has to factor into it, to get you over the hump.
I have to do game previews for almost every game for my job, so
Uh
it's
huh.
really harsh sometimes because I feel like some of the NHL players are still very confused there in Italy, or maybe they are having too much fun. It just looks like Swedes, right? The team Sweden,
Mm-hmm.
they are just not mentally there because if you take Slovakia, the team
Yes,
doesn't have so many stars at all. They are amazing. They push hard
but they
and
got
they
a lot
win
of heart.
hard.
You
Yeah.
can't measure heart.
Oh, I like it. You can
You know,
measure hard.
no, you really can't. That's why a team with less talent is able to beat a team that has a lot more talent on paper. You know, they have heart, they have drive, they have determination. They're going to work hard. They're going to do the little things that takes to win. And unfortunately, some players and some teams just aren't willing to do that.
So where are you going to put Slovakia and Italy? Is it good or bad list? What side? Pick the side.
Uh, I would put Italy on the bad list.
Mm-hmm.
Slovakia probably on the good list, but there's
Okay.
probably 7 or 8 teams ahead of Slovakia on the good list, or as far as good teams go.
Cool. So what about Finland? Because I've been talking a lot about Finland. I almost cried when I was watching the first game. It was so horrible, and I'm like, where are all of those Finnish stars?
I think it's more of a factor of them not playing together. You just can't put, you know, Sidney Crosby and Nikita Kucherov and Leon Draisaitl on the line and expect, to score 6 goals a game. That's not how it works. They've got to work together. They've got to practice together. They've got to play together. And they've got to earn that trust. Trust is a big issue, especially on these most successful lines in the NHL. Look at Kucherov with the Tampa Bay Lightning. When he has the puck, he knows whoever he's passing it to is going to be at this point on the ice to take that pass and take a shot. He knows that. He trusts that player to be there. And I think in these international tournaments where you have a lot of these superstars coming together, that's not necessarily the case because they haven't played together. And a lot of them too, they're not willing to check their egos at the door. You've heard that saying, all for one and one for all. Well, how many of the players actually adhere to that? After you get past the top 3 or 4 countries in the Olympics that are playing successful hockey, how many of those other teams are really committed to doing whatever it takes to win? They don't care who gets the credit. They don't care who scores the winning goal. They don't care. They just want to win. And I
That's what
think that,
Canada does. Yeah,
yeah,
they don't have time. You just have to work. If you don't
right.
have connection, build it immediately. Find, change, do something. There is no time. I just also feel like with teams like Sweden and Finland, they do have great individual players, right?
They do.
But in the NHL, you cannot say that there is a superstar, Finnish superstar or Swedish superstar. They work well as a package. So
Yes.
I would say they don't really have Celebrini, Sidney Crosby,
Mm-hmm.
Kachuk caliber. So it's like someone who really has a voice, someone who can really show up when it's needed. So that's why when they all get together, it's like, yeah, we'll write, but there's no one great leader.
That's a good point. And that goes back to to the respect factor. I mean, you have a Finnish superstar or Canadian superstar. When the other players walk in the room, there's a healthy respect for that. Nathan McKinnon. Let's take him for example. I guarantee you, he has a lot of respect amongst almost the whole Canadian team because he has produced on the ice at a very, very high level for years and years. Not that he's an ancient superstar, but I mean, year after year, he's at the top in scoring, in goals, has a number of assists. So when he's on your team and he's on your line, you just give him that respect because you know he's going to show up in a big spot. And a lot of the other players for some of the other countries, they don't have that caliber of player, or if they do, their ego gets in the way, and they lose that respect and trust factor before they even put one foot on the ice.
You're too nice. That's all I can say. You're too nice because it's like you have to work, guys. You really wanted to make it to the Olympics. You're in.
Yeah.
You have to work your assets off like no
Mm-hmm.
one else. Like it's the last day on earth. Do it. No excuses. So no more excuses. I really wanted to play this game. Let's build Team Russia fantasy team. What's your first line?
Oh, I don't know about my first line. Let's just build one together. I'll throw out a name, you throw out a name, and we'll
Oh
build.
no, I have the whole team
Oh, you have the
up.
whole team.
Yeah,
Oh.
I am well prepared. I actually it's very interesting like cuz I had a team obviously for 4 nations, but it's been a year and it's interesting to see how things changed.
Mhm.
Some guys are
I
out.
will go with Kucherov.
Of
He
course.
obviously has to be the best offensive player and has to be if you're drafting a Russian team, has to be the number one player taken. Um, Kaprizov from Minnesota, you got to have him on that first line, and then I really want to say Ovechkin, but his time is past. He should be on the team, but not in a featured role like a first
Coach?
or second line. What's that?
Coach? Coach?
Offensive coach, yeah, and bring in Sergei Gonchar to coach defense. Those two guys played together for a long time in Washington. But yeah, I think you put Ovechkin on the team and Malkin. I think Malkin's got more upside than Ovechkin does offensively at this stage of his career. So that would be my top three. Yeah.
Look, we have a line and it almost matches mine. So it's Kucherov, Malkin, Kaprizov. The
Yes.
best.
Yes.
You cannot beat
Absolutely.
that. Yeah, so it's Kucherov, Malkin, Kaprizov. Okay, let's go next.
Let's go with let's put Ovechkin on the second line. Can we?
Okay.
Can we put him on the second line? And geez, now I'm grasping at straws at this point.
Because
I know
it's,
there's some Russian players.
mhm.
How about the kid from Columbus, Kirill Marchenko?
Yeah, he's not going to make to my list. He's not
Not
going to
gonna make
make
it to
it.
your list.
No.
Okay.
He's too raw,
Um,
yeah. I mean, it's Columbus Blue Jackets. No one plays there. That's why I'm very happy that he was able to open up, but
but not to get off subject. But the Blue Jackets are going to make the playoffs, and they're going to be a thorn in somebody's side. They got that new coach. They haven't lost in 6 or 8 games before the break. They're coming. Anyhow,
okay.
what, what
Ohio
about,
boy.
huh?
Ohio boy. Okay,
Yes,
speaking into you.
that's
Okay.
right. That's right. A little love for the Blue Jackets.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. How about
The guy who preferred Los Angeles to any
yeah,
Florida
Panarin.
team.
Panarin.
Panarin.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a good anchor on the second line.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Second line would be let's put him um, maybe Ovechkin and how about the rookie from Vancouver, Andrei Kuzmenko.
But he's in Los Angeles. He was a rookie in Vancouver, but he's in LA
Oh,
too.
he's on Los Angeles now. Okay,
Hold
okay.
on. Hold on. Let me just stop you. I understand that you love Ovechkin. I can hear it, but
Yes, I do.
he's gonna slow everyone down. I don't think he should be anywhere upper than the third line.
Okay, well that's fine. I'm okay with that.
So I would
I am
make the
okay with that.
second line very dynamic and younger. So Panarin, yeah, experience, all of
Yeah,
that.
Aaron.
And Husnudinov and Demidov.
Mm, okay,
I
I
mean,
have no problem with
Demidov, he probably gonna win the best rookie of the season anyways.
Yes.
Okay, so on the third one, the guy that you really want to be on this team, Ovechkin, and probably not as, I don't know, dominating, maybe not that fancy, but Yurov, it's his first year in the NHL, and Dorofeev. It's just like a working line. Well, I'm sorry, there's no such a thing as checkers or, and it's not about degrading them, but it's someone has to work the third line. And I'm sorry, like you said, I don't think Ovechkin is already at that point of his career when he is able to keep up with Kaprizov.
No,
So
no. Right,
Yurov
right, right.
and Dorofeev, it's gonna be like more calm, stay home, don't move
Right.
that much line.
Yeah. Does Nemenstikov make your team? Ex Tampa Bay Lightning player.
So when I was picking my team for the Four Nations, yes, he was on that team. I would say give him a chance. So we should take him, but he's probably gonna be in rotation.
Mm-hmm. And then you have the Shuskin from Colorado.
And yeah, he didn't make it. I can
Well,
explain
I'm saying he
why.
could make it.
I can explain why. Do you know all of the troubles that he had in the
I
past,
don't.
right?
I don't know all of
Okay,
it.
all of those police, this and that, time off from the team. This is a big event, and he's going to be exposed to a lot of things he might not be able to handle.
Oh,
So I am not going to have a player in my team who is not able to control
so you're
himself.
saying physically and a skill level, yes, but from the mental side, absolutely not, because he's
Yes,
not mature enough to handle that.
it's not that mature enough. I mean, it's not even about that anymore. He is mature enough. It's just that's the lifestyle that he prefers.
Oh,
Yeah, so
okay,
he's not gonna make it to my team to make sure that he's not gonna do anything naughty.
okay,
And yeah, because I just need people who are focused and ready to work, ready to fight.
that's right.
So
Yeah.
that's why he might not like it. Andrei Svechnikov, Carolina Hurricanes. Yeah,
Yes.
he's gonna be on my fourth line. Barbashev and Podkolzin. I think Vasily Podkolzin from the Edmonton Oilers is one of those guys who mandatory have to be on my team. Last year, when I was building my team Russia for the nation for nations, so many people were writing bad comments under my articles about what Podkolzin who, but when he made it to his second final, second Stanley Cup final, he was one of
Hmm.
the best players, the guy who can really work. It's not only about
Yes.
scoring, he shows up for the team and he does
Right.
what he's needed when
And
he's needed, and yeah,
yeah,
what has to be done.
and like we talked about with the Lightning and their fourth line, the grind line, if you want to call it. Yes, he is an integral piece to that Edmonton team on the third or fourth line, depending on where they want to slot him in. But yeah, he's out there
Yeah,
not to score goals, but just to do some dirty work, get in the corners, get those loose pucks. Absolutely.
he's a good working dude, and he
Yeah.
played with Drysdale, so he knows how to handle pressure when you have to cover up for the stars.
How about blue line?
Okay, you start. I know who you're
Me.
gonna choose. I know.
Who am I going to choose? Tell
Well,
me.
he used to play for the Lightning.
He used to, right? How can you? But think about this, though. Think about this. How can you pick a Russian Olympic team and not have Mr. Sergachev on your blue line? How can you do that?
You can't.
You can't. There you go. So I feel vindicated.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we take him. Of course, he's someone who can score, but he's still a defenseman. We need all of his skills. He is universal. We love it. And I think he would be a good match to Dmitry Orlov, who is in the San Jose Sharks right now. He's more of a
Yes.
stay-at-home guy, and he's very tough.
Mm-hmm.
He's scary. He's like a Russian bear.
They don't have too many of those anymore.
True. Especially on Team Russia.
Yeah.
Defense is not the strongest sides of any Russian team. They just don't grow defensemen.
Maybe that some of their goalies that they're developing need to go to the blue line, and because there's a plethora of goaltenders. When you get to the goaltenders, somebody good is going to be left off the team.
No, we're gonna choose the best ones, and you know who they are.
I
Okay,
I,
let's.
I know I know who one is, and one guy I would not pick. One guy I would
Okay,
not pick,
interesting,
but you would
interesting,
pick.
interesting. Okay, so Gavrikov
Yeah,
and Provorov. See, that's for
right.
you, for the Ohio State. Let's go,
Mm-hmm.
Provorov.
You're throwing me a bone. I appreciate that. Yes.
Okay, well, and Zub, Ottawa Senators, and Lubushkin, Dallas Stars.
But
So,
yes,
yeah, those are
I don't
my
have a problem with
blue lines.
any of those. Yep, absolutely. I'm all in.
Okay, whew, good. Approved. Approved by
Approved.
Ken. Made it.
That's right.
Okay. Oh, and oh my God, it's coming.
Yes.
Woohoo! The goalies. Let's go. You're the first one. Make it
Oh,
big.
the big cat,
Oh, of
Andrei
course.
Vasilevsky.
Of
He's number
course.
one. Number one.
Okay.
And if you don't think he's the best goalie in the world, and if you don't have him as number one, you don't know hockey. All you got to look at the guy's stats. Look at where he started. Look how hard he's worked this season to get in the position that he's in. Now, here's a guy that has great credentials. He has the numbers, but he has been absolutely horrid this season. And if we're putting a team together, he cannot be on the team. And that's Sergei Bobrovsky.
That is so mean.
No, his goals against average is above 3.5. I don't know what's happened to him. He lost a step or just having one of those seasons, but he has been putrid. And that's part of the reason the Panthers are 8 points out of the last playoff spot. Part of the reason.
Well, maybe he's tired and he also wants his teammates to start working. Because if we go back 3 seasons ago, 2 seasons ago,
Yeah,
1 season ago, it was all about Sergei Bobrovsky.
it
And one
was.
of the major reasons the Panthers actually got the cup, that's Sergei Fedorov.
I
I
agree
mean,
with
not
you.
Fedorov, but Bobrovsky. Both
Yeah,
great.
I agree with you. The goaltender in hockey and the quarterback in the NFL is kind of, I mean, they're right there together with the pressure that they're under because you can go from the penthouse to the outhouse in 1 week, literally. I mean, you're the hero this week, and then the next week, you just have a bad game and everybody's down on you. You know, and Bobrovsky, he's had more than a week. He's had a couple months of bad play. So there, regardless of what he has done in the past, I don't see how you could put him on the team, especially when you have Shesterkin
Ugh,
that deserves a
no.
spot.
Oh, his stats are great. Yeah, his stats are so great. Last season,
He's
this it's
young,
amazing. Oh yeah. Mm.
got a
Mhm.
little long in the tooth.
Mhm.
No,
What about Ilya Sorokin? I will choose
yes,
Ilya Sorokin any day over Igor Shesterkin.
okay, that's fair. I'm not opposed to that. I'll
I'm
take
just
that.
trying to change your mind.
Yeah, I don't know. Once I get my mind made up,
Hmm.
it's very hard to change it. And Bobrovsky, if he wants to be a goaltending coach on the team, fine. We'll bring you along to coach the fellas.
Well, we have to bring three goalies, so we take in Vasilevsky,
But Vasilevsky,
Sorokin, and Bobrovsky.
uh, okay.
You
Bob,
said he can be a coach.
he can
Don't
be a coach.
forget, he still have all of the experience. Just like Binnington, he can show up when he's needed, and he also has all the experience in the Olympics. Hello, Sochi. Yeah, let's go back.
But if you, speaking of that, Bennington versus Bobrovsky, if you had to win a game
Hmm.
You have one game, one shot to win a championship, and your goaltenders are Bennington or Bobrovsky. Who you taking?
It's obvious. I will choose Brador. Oh, we have a
Uh,
team. Look at that. Most of the guys that we just discussed and, have on our team Russia, they not even gonna be active players in 4 years. That is so sad.
well, the way things are going, it'll be 20 years before they ever allow Russia to play in the Olympics again. So most of those guys will be sitting on the couch smoking cigars, watching their kids and grandkids play for the team.
Do you want to add anything spicy before I go play hockey?
I want to give a shout out to the U.S. women's hockey team. They've allowed one goal. I think they've outscored the opponent 26-1 or something like that. They shut out Canada the other night, 5-0, and I think you never want to say that it's going to be a cakewalk, but I can't see anyone putting a challenge up to the women's Olympic team. I just They're just too talented. Nobody can even roll one or two competitive lines out against them. I mean, the third line is better than a lot of teams' first line. Really.
Mhm.
So I like the U.S. in a cakewalk to win the gold medal, and they'll probably play Canada again, and they'll
Of
probably beat
course.
Canada again for
They
the gold
should.
medal.
Hmm.
I think it's too early to say exactly who's going to be there for the men. I mean, we can predict it and talk about it, but the relegation in the playoff round I don't think starts till Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. So I mean, a lot can happen. Each team probably has another two preliminary games left. You know, you could have some injuries or some strange things happen that could affect that competition. But right now, I would say it'll be U.S. Canada men playing for the gold medal.
Well, so far it doesn't look good for any other teams like Sweden, Finland. I expected more from them.
Yeah, and I saw Victor Hedman got a goal the other night. Did you see that? An empty netter with like 2 minutes to play or something like that.
Yes, I've seen the goal, thank God, but I also watched the game very closely, and it was scary at times because I would never imagine that Italians would be so fast that Victor Hedman, the future Hall of Famer, will not be able to chase them.
We saw that in the Boston game. We talked about that.
I remembered, yeah, I
Babysitters.
remembered.
Yeah, he's unfortunately he's lost a step. There's no shame in that. It
Hmm.
happens to everybody. It's part of the aging process. We all go through it. It doesn't tarnish anything that he has done in his career up to this point. The only thing that would tarnish it if in 5 years he's still out there trying to play at the level that he played at 25, 28 years old, which a lot of athletes have that issue. They just can't let go. Perfect example, Michael Jordan. He retired early, played baseball, came back, had a couple of good years in Chicago, and then was late 30s, maybe 40, when he went to play for the Washington Wizards. And that last year in Washington, he was absolutely awful. I mean, he was terrible. But he's Michael Jordan, so people were giving him the benefit of the doubt. But he was not good, and he should not have played that last season. Athletes, some of them don't know when to say, "Hey, I'm done. I can't play at that level anymore, so I'm out."
And
Yeah,
it's sad because as
it is.
for Team Sweden, it only shows that Victor Hedman, he is not in a position where he has to chase Italians. That you should grow
Right.
more younger defensemen who are still okay with their health. They should take that part of the job, the dirty job.
Yes.
Victor already did his job.
Yeah. Hedman should be on that team as a mentor, another eyes and ears in the dressing room and on the ice coach. He has a very valuable role if he serves that role. But as far as him playing a lot of high minutes and being counted on to, you know,
Hmm.
match up with the other team's, top line and take their offensive guns out of the game. That's not going to happen right now for Victor Hedman at this stage of his career. So,
But you should guess we all wish him the best because
oh,
we love
absolutely,
Victor. Yeah, he is the rock
absolutely.
star.
His banner will uniform will hang in the rafters at the arena with his number on. He'll be a first ballot Hockey Hall of Famer. All that. That doesn't change anything. He's just. I mean, he's been playing for what, 16 years, 17 years.
Hmm.
Came up when he was 18, I think 19 years old, something like that. So I mean, he's played a lot of hockey, and played a lot of minutes, a lot of games, and it now he's just on the back nine of his career. I think there's still a role for him on the Lightning team, but it's going to be at a reduced role on the ice and more of a mentor and coaching and talking to
Player
the
development.
what's that
Player development.
player development. Yes, because I mean a guy like that's played as long as he has and played at the high level that he has for so many years has a lot to offer. You just can't kick him to the curb. He's got a wealth of knowledge, and it's up to the Lightning or whoever he goes with after his Tampa playing days to tap into that.
That sounds good.
Yeah, why not?
Oh, and we have to go to bed to get our beauty sleep because I think the next game is at 6 a.m. Be ready.
6 a.m. You know what really irritates me?
Time difference?
No, you can't do nothing about time difference. Is NBC, which is the network of the Olympics,
Yeah, exclusive rights. No pictures, no
they
videos.
they put, and I'm sorry, I'm sounding like the old get off my lawn guy, but they put all these crap Winter Olympic sports on. I want to watch hockey. I couldn't even watch the hockey game this afternoon. They had the women's on against Italy, and that's fine. I wanted to see Canada play. Wanted to see, what Cooper's doing, what the Lightning players doing. Nope. You got to pay the few bucks for
Peacock.
NBC special app to get that game.
I have that. I pay. I have to pay to make sure
But my
that I am
point
able
is,
to follow it for my job. I have to pay. Yeah.
you're talking about growing the game of hockey, exposing it to more people, and then you won't even televise a game where there's a lot of interest from folks around the country. They want to see that. They don't want to pay for another service to, put the men's downhill luge on there. Put the slalom skiing or whatever they call it. I don't know. I'm not a big Winter Olympic guy except for hockey. But, put those sports on there. Gary Bettman shuts down the NHL for 2.5 weeks. Send the players over to play for their teams. What does the NHL and Gary Bettman get in return for shutting down the league for 2.5 weeks? What's the payoff?
Vacation?
When we're talking about growing the sport and putting it in front of more eyeballs, what's the
Nothing.
trade-off there?
Well, we've discussed that before. It's
But
so very limited. In Canada, yes, it's so much smaller, but they do know how to cover hockey. Yes, here in the US, unfortunately, hockey is not number one. And even if it's number 4 or 5, we still want to see it. It's the Olympics. If I'm ready to wake up at 6 a.m. to watch the game, I want to see it.
And how many eyeballs do you think are going to be on the gold medal game at 8 a.m. in the morning next Sunday?
It's
That's
next
about,
Sunday?
no,
What?
next Sunday. Not 2 days from now, but the
But I
following
mean, it's
Sunday.
still crazy. Next Sunday, it's going to be all over.
I think it's the
No.
gold medal game.
No. So
I mean,
fast.
I'll watch it, but why? I mean, you have different events that you can put on in different time slots. I don't want to see the closing Olympic ceremony. I couldn't give a rat's patootie about the closing ceremonies. I want to see the hockey game. So put the hockey game on at even 2 in the afternoon, which would be 8, 9 o'clock. Local time over there. What do I know?
We want hockey. We want hockey.